Hi everyone, my name is Batey. I'm a registered dietitian and the program coordinator for the Food is Health Alliance at the University of Kentucky. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to make some super simple apple tarts. These are perfect anytime you're craving something sweet but you're low on either time or energy, and they'd also be great for anyone with low mobility, pain in their hands, arthritis, or anything like that. So let's get started so I can show you how easy these are. So what I have here is just a store-bought frozen pie crust, and I've let it come to room temperature. So I'm just gonna roll this out and then we're gonna cut it into little squares. And what I love about this recipe is that yes, it's easy, but it takes advantage of store-bought ingredients, which is completely okay. You don't have to make everything homemade every single time. And because we're going to be cutting this and putting it into little muffin tins, completely fine if it isn't a perfect shape. If you have any wrinkles, they're all going to come out in the wash. So I got a pizza cutter, and what I'm going to do is cut these into about 2 by 2 inch squares. Again, absolutely doesn't have to be perfect. That's one of the best things about this recipe. So for the size I rolled out, I'm going to cut this into 3 this way and 3 the other way. If you were to roll it out a lot better than I did, then you might be able to make another cut. So I've got this ready, and what I'm going to use is a regular muffin tin. So you can see my little squares, and I'm just going to take these and poke them right down into the muffin tin. Now I did spray this with some nonstick spray, but you could also rub it with a little bit of melted butter, whatever you prefer. We just don't want them to stick. So I'm just going to keep going here, making all these little tarts, and try not to let the edges of the crust touch each other too much because we don't want them to bake together. So these little ends here, I'm going to gather and I'll roll them back out because we do want squares. Frozen pie crusts usually come in packages of 2, and with a regular sized muffin tin, I am going to use both crusts. And over there, I have just one 15-ounce jar of apple pie. These would be really good with any kind of pie filling. I think they would be obviously delicious with cherry or blueberry pie filling. You could probably even try this around the holidays with something like pumpkin pie filling, which I love, and I think that would be really good. And it would make it easier to portion your desserts on Thanksgiving, because if they're smaller, then you can have more. Now, you might be surprised that a dietitian is showing you how to make mini apple pies, but you shouldn't be. There is room for absolutely anything in a nutritious diet. You do want to focus on the more nutritious foods, but it's perfectly fine to have a treat every now and then. So now I'm going to grab my other pie crust and keep rolling until I've got this all filled out. Okay. So now I'm just going to fill these with about 1.5 tablespoons of my apple pie filling. I don't want to overfill them, or they may burn a little bit to the edge of the muffin cup. I've preheated my oven to 425 degrees, which is according to package instructions. Be sure to check the instructions on the package of the pie dough that you buy, as they may be a little bit different. And then, once I have these filled, I'm going to stick them in the oven. And if you were making a whole pie, it's about 40 to 45 minutes. But because we're just making some little tarts, I'm going to check these at about 25 minutes and see if they are as golden as I want them to be. And if not, I'll let them keep going for a little bit longer. After I get these in the oven, I'm just going to make a very simple cinnamon sugar glaze that will drizzle over the top once they're finished. Now we're gonna make our super simple cinnamon sugar glaze. I'm gonna start with 2 cups of powdered sugar. I'm adding half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. And then we're gonna add some milk, but we're only adding it 1 tablespoon at a time because you'll be surprised how quickly this turns into a glaze. So I'm gonna add 1. I think I can go ahead and start with at least 2. Begin to stir. Okay, not there yet. So many times I have tried adding all of the milk at once and it turns out way too watery. So as you can see, this is beginning to form a glaze. I love that light brown color from the cinnamon. I'm not getting a whole tablespoon over here. Let's try it this way. There we go. It might look like dough right now, but I promise as soon as you get enough milk in there, it's gonna be a beautiful glaze. This glaze is also extremely good on donuts. And I think that will do it. So in the end, we used about 4 tablespoons of milk. If you want your glaze thinner, you can absolutely keep going. But I like it nice and thick, so it makes kind of a crust when you pour it on top of the tarts. So I'm just gonna set this aside until my tarts are done baking. So my tarts are all ready, and now I'm gonna glaze them. I've had these cooling on the counter for about 15 minutes, so they're cool to the touch and easy to remove. You definitely wanna let them cool because otherwise your glaze would just kind of instantly melt, and you don't want that. So, let's see. All right, okay. So, I've got 3 of them out, and I'm just gonna use my whisk to drizzle a little bit of glaze. Now you can go ahead and glaze them all in the pan and then store them that way, or I like to actually keep my glaze in the fridge and just glaze them as I'm ready to eat. So as you can see, these tarts are super, super easy. They come together in less than 20 minutes. And they're just an awesome little snack any time of year.